Hey, 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 what am I doing? I'm brewing coffee, check it out. Morning, Mr. Trucker Steven, Pennsylvania, McGee Films, The Machine, what's up? I am brewing this coffee. This is the best coffee in the world. Big Tex Trucking, man, it's too early. Dude, this is the first live stream I've seen you in. So obviously this time frame is working for you, sir. M35, good morning. Rhymes with orange. Good morning, Brad, McGee. Been busy? Nah, you haven't been busy. You're slacking like me there, Big Tex. TJ, what's up? Didn't see you sneak in here. Yeah, Machine, it's hard to find. I've only been able to find it in one store here in Springfield. It's Mama Jean's, which is like one of those Whole Foods stores. Hold on. My allergies are acting up. So Amazon maybe? Yeah. Here, I'll there it is. That way you can write it down. So here comes the whiteboard for lesson for Pale Rider. Gary says, you know, I wasn't gonna do this video, but then I was watching Pale Rider's video this morning, and someone, Ron, I think it was, said, oh, Snorler's gonna do a video about this morning. I'm like, that's a good idea. So Pale Rider, you think we're on for this. So David Johns, Bodacious, what's up? Arthritis is acting up with the cold weather we've been having. Yeah, Bandit. I hear you. Yep, it's on Amazon. $38? Holy crap, dude. I paid... What did I pay for this? I think I paid like $13 for this. It ain't no $40 coffee. Dude, even... I'm not that much of a coffee snob. I'm going to spend $40 on coffee. But yeah, Ron, thanks to Ron. Depending on what flavor. They're all good. Hell, even the decaf's probably good. I haven't had decaf though, but I always get the brown label. The green label, or not the green. The green's decaf. There's like a blue label, it's pretty good. And the gray. So, oh, 18, okay. Dude, I was like, dude, don't get it for $38. It ain't that good. Ricardo, good morning to you, sir. Yeah, look at the machine trying to not sell this coffee. Oh, it's great, Steve, if I could afford it. So the way you make a friend feel better is first you got to razz them a little bit, right? Then the second thing you do is tell them a story. Hey, Jesse, what's up? You tell them a story about how you screwed up. So, I've got a story for you. Ta-da! Right? So, this is in my rookie years. I'm still in my rookie years. Hell, I don't even know what I'm doing now. So, early years, that's a better term. So, this is back in the paper log days. So, a little bit of outlaw going on here. So, I picked up a load out of Muskogee, a load of glass. It's the glass bottles you use for Starbucks. They go to Springfield. The Dairy Farmers of America, they put the coffee milk in it, and basically all those Starbucks things are is just milk with coffee flavoring in it and sugar. And so those loads are always $43.5. Now, if you're new to the industry, we have on the trailer a spot called the sweet spot. If the load is a uniform product, like one product, like it's all the same cans of soda, it's all the same cans of beer, it's all the same cans of empty bottles or something like that. If you put the 41 Aero at the 11 o'clock spot on the rear tire of your trailer, you will have a perfectly balanced load. It'll be 32 and 32. Okay? Machine says between hole 8 usually. See, I don't count holes. What I do is if it's not right, after I scale it, I'll take chalk. Buy yourself some children's chalk, keep it in the truck, then I mark where the pin goes in, I mark the hole that I want to be at. So, anyways, that's the sweet spot. 99% of the time, you can put in that hole and not even have to scale it, because okay? The other tool that you have is the air suspension gauge in your truck, if you have one. Now, you Snyder Finance guys probably don't have one. So, I picked up the load of glass in Muskogee. It was a drop and hook. Went to the Muskogee Pilot, scaled it, headed in the sweet spot, perfectly balanced. I took off with it, right? So, at that time, Transland had just issued me a Peterbilt 387, just like I used to own. And the first truck they had that I was in was a Volvo, and the Volvo had air suspension gauge on both the tractor and the trailer. It was kind of neat. So you could definitely balance a load with that, but I was still new to the whole thing, and so I'm still learning, right? So my load assignment was taking me back to Springfield, and I had to pick up a load at the yard, and it was going to Waco and Amarillo. It was a 2-stop load. Amarillo was first, Waco was second. It was a Reckitt Benckiser load, okay? Now, this is where the being new to the whole thing kind of messed me up. So I pick up the load, I look at the bills. Now I'm in a hurry because I want to get to at least Tulsa or somewhere down 44. Now, when I logged my paper stuff, I'm pretty good about doing it to the miles. I do it to like an average mile an hour. And so that worked out, because if I had been running outlaw a little bit, I would have been caught. Here's what happened. So I pick up the load at the yard, and I don't have time to scale it, because I have to be down a certain point so I can make it to the customer in time. And this is over New Year's weekend or whatever. So the bills said 38,000 pounds. So what did I do? I put in the sweet spot and thought, this should be good, right? So I get down the road. I get to the Joplin westbound scale right before you get into Oklahoma. Driver, pull around back. And that's the thing. I looked at my air suspension gauge. It showed good. I'm like, all right, cool. So I pull around back, and the guy goes, he's like, do you know you're 2,000 pounds over your trailer? I'm like, what? I go, he goes, didn't you scale it out? I said, no. And I explained to him that I'd just taken a load out of Muskogee, put it in the sweet spot, and then picked up the next load, and You know, I thought the sweet spot would work. It's only 38,000, not 43. Because, well, they must have loaded heavy on the rear. Always scale it out. You know, so he's got the... So that cost me, I think it was $180. And at that time, I could not afford $180. Especially on that company driver wage. Hold on, guys. I'm being my own parody. Damn allergies. So, so I got busted for 180. So he goes, well, you need to make it right. You know, unlike Pale Rider's situation, he made me correct it, which that to me is kind of BS, because if they're so concerned about weights on the roads that they're going to fine you, why sit there and let you run with it overweight anyways, right? That's part of Pale Rider's story I did not get. So, hold on, I'm gonna get my coffee cup. All right, so time to get some coffee. So, all right, machine, see you later. So, Pale Rider, I feel your pain. Now, my air suspension gauge did show correct. However, that's the problem. Let's use this box of spoons as a demonstration. This is the tractor. My hand is the tractor, right? So, if you're heavy on the tail, what happens? It lifts the weight off of the tractor. Therefore, that would give you an accurate, not an accurate, but it'll give you a good, that'll give you a good pressure on the suspension gauge on your tractor. So just because it shows good on the tractor, suspension gauge doesn't mean it's right. And see, here's what happened. That load was a 2-stop load. Well, Amarillo was getting more stuff than Waco, so there was more weight on the back. So, being used to having the trailer suspension gauge on the Volvo, I thought it was good. But Peterbilt didn't have that, so that's where I made my mistake. And that's when I was told that any Ricket bank hazard load that's over 30,000 pounds, you want to scale it, especially if it's a multi-stop load. Because they're not loading it correctly to balance it, they're loading it just to suit the needs of the customer. So, but yeah. Now, if you have a 38,000 pound load and it's heavy on the rear like that, it's going to feel heavy. It's going to feel like a 43,000 pound load. All right, Burger. Call me later. So, I'll be heading back up to your neck of the woods. Not Pennsylvania, but Ohio at least. So I learned a very valuable lesson that when in doubt, scale it out. So, but I wasn't the only one that made the mistake. It got to the point that Transland said, hey, anybody pick up a Ricket load that's over 35,000 pounds, you have to scale it out. So Pale Rider, I feel your pain. However, you know what's coming, dude. You know what's coming. So is spelling, Steve Berger. Steve Berger says, Kier Cerrone is the cornerstone to financial success. So, we're going to have ourselves the best dude, I just opened this can and I just can't wait. Here we go. Oh, I'm making a mess. I just spilled hot coffee on my leg. But you know what I'm going to do, Pale Rider? Everybody go to Pale Rider TV's video about his scale. Everybody do it. And tell him it costed him $200. Just like, you know, we had to give Daniel a lesson on his $150 deadhead. I want everybody to go to, after this video, or if you got a second device, just do it on there. Everybody go to Pale. I want to see how many people, you know, listen to me. I think I had like 8 people that did it to Daniel. So everybody go to Pale Rider and say, that cost you $200. And if you want, do a bonus. You know how like they have clever sayings, to, you know, as PSA announcements. When in doubt, scale it out. And Oklahoma's wicked, guys, with those super coupes. They just built the brand new one there. Where I think that's the one that busted Pale Rider. They built a brand new one on I-35 coming out of Texas. That one has got like the X-rays and the mind readers things and the whole 9 yards on that one. And that one kind of ticks me off because, you know, I used to pick up loads in Wilmer. I almost said the customer. Almost messed up there. And they have a scale on site at that particular customer. However, every now and then you got to go, well, I'm going to run with this. And now I can't because there's that scale. So, now for the coffee review in tribute to Pale Rider's $200. Yes, Bandit Jr. says Ontario just upgraded their scale houses within the last few years. Yep. They got mind readers now, face readers. It's kind of funny. Someone in one of the Schneider pages asked if, or no, maybe it wasn't the Schneider. No, it's the rate per mile masters page. ELD thing is causing a stir, guys. It's getting ridiculous. They were like, oh, can they scan your e-logs from the pre-pass or whatever? And everybody's like, no. You know, now it'll get to that point where they could just probably like shoot a laser gun at your truck and it's like, oh, that guy's over ours, you know, but you know, we're not to that point yet. Oh, this coffee is so good. This is a 10 out of 5, 1 to 5. This, oh wait, no, you got to give it a scale 10, right? Because Pale Rider gives Loves an 8.5 or something like that. And I think that's a little generous, to be honest with you, sir. But $200. Here, I'll show you guys something. I'll get to the comments here in a second. This is the main reason why you scale it out. Because of the cards. You have the cards that you get. Dude, that's worth the $11 right there. I've got like 13,000 of these things. This is... See? Now, they're all put away, and hopefully in about 40 years, when I'm on my deathbed, I'll be able to say, kids, in the cabinet is a cards that will save you money. Yeah, check this out. One time I was scaling a load out there in Midland, Texas, and the clerk tried to steal this from me because, you know, I collected them for my kids in the early days. She's like, oh, my kids love those cards. What are you going to do with it? I'm like, I'm going to give it to my kid. Oh, okay. And then she, like, rang my scale ticket up and then, like, you know, because you get 2 copies, she tried taking a copy with the card. I'm like, where's my card? So, Ron, I do have the app. Ron says, get the app, no more going in. I do have the app, but here's something they don't tell you. Let's say you weigh your truck with the app, right? And you go across, and you're good, right? You don't get the paper copy, right? So you go down the road, scale house says, "Ha, hey, check it out, you're over your weight." Now, that guarantee that CAT scale has, it only works if you have the paper copy. In other words, if you just show them your phone, "Hey, look, this trailer is good," that won't work. So that's the bad part about that. So there's been a couple of moments, Ron, where I went ahead and got the paper copy because it was convenient. But now some of these places, you go to scale and you can't find parking, or the fuel island's 4 deep, so you can't even go there. You know, situations like that, I'm going to go ahead and just look at the app and go. But let's go over the comments. Remember, everybody go to Pale Rider's video and tell them that cost them $200. If you don't, I'm going to be very sad. McGee says, making $1,100, 2 loads within PA. I left the house this morning and I'll be home tonight. Well, that's the way to do it, McGee. See, you Pennsylvania natives can do that stuff. Everybody's laughing. I'll go over after video, says Bandit Jr. Oklahoma, don't know, don't play, no, you pay. That's true, Gary. You know, and Pale Rider in his video talked about how he's been scaled as a bobtail. That happened to me one time. I was on the Super Coupe on I-40 going east out of Texas, right before you get to Oklahoma City. And I'm in my bobtail, right? Because I just delivered out in the middle of the boonies, the drop and hook, and it was the first drop and hook trailer for the company at that time. And so they had me bobtail Oklahoma City, pick up an empty. So I get a red light. I go in the scale. I stop on the scale. I'm just like, no green light, no nothing. Any minute, I'm here. I'm ready to hear, you know, you got your window rolled down. I'm ready to hear, driver, go around back because we're going to ream you. So, sitting there waiting, and I look over, and the guy is like looking down at something. And then all of a sudden he looks at me and just kind of like acts surprised, and then he gives me a green light. So obviously he wasn't paying attention. So, ELDs have been the topic of discussion for days now. A single ELD post gets hundreds of comments. Most of them are from delusional asshats. Big Rich, let me talk about that for a second. It's kind of amazing how many people don't know the regulations. You bring up the topic of personal conveyance and no one can give you a straight answer. Why is that? Because no one's reading the rules. But also because every company has their own rules. You know why they have those rules? Like Schneider has rules? It's because of the gray area. No one knows the regulations. So I'm going to bring up a new point that no one has talked about. Let's talk about one of the biggest problems in our industry is the education of the regulations. But see, there's always gray areas. Like, for example, it's said that on an interstate highway that you're not supposed to be over 34,000 pounds on each axle, right? So what does Pale Rider do? He breaks that rule, and then they let him go with it anyways. That's the problem. There's a lot of DOT officers that don't know their own rules. That's why Schneider doesn't let us do 8-2 splits. When I was at Transland, we were not allowed to do 8-2 splits on paper because some of the DOT cops didn't even know how to even read that. Oh, you're over your 11 hours. Because if you do the 8-2 split, you can almost go, according to paper, if you look at it from a distance, you could be over your 11 hours, but it's still legal. So Bandit Jr. never had a taste for coffee. Well, you're going to hate half my videos then. Pale Rider was right. You were going to give him a hard time, LOL. Yeah. No lottery for 2 months now. This is Gary. Morning, James Best. What's up? I use the app to go in for paper. Like I said, it depends on the situation. Ron says, I did not know that. Thank you. Pale Rider, write down 200 times on paper, then in doubt, scale it out and mail it to Snorlord. Oh, that's funny. That's funny, Gary. When in doubt, scale it out. When in doubt, scale it out. You do it in a rap song. Yo, man. When in doubt, scale it out. That was a horrible rap. I'm sorry. I'm not a rap guy. McGee Films is laughing at me. When I bring it up on my ELD, it tells me how to personal convey. Yeah, but then Motor T says, when I bring it up on my ELD, it tells me how to personal convey. The unladen became an issue, a topic of understanding. Unladen became an issue. Like, oh, if you have a trailer, you're not unladen. Well, what about a box truck? Is a box truck unladen if it's, doesn't have a trailer? So there's all this gray area, all this BS. And in the end, the rule is designed so you don't abuse it. So you can't sit there and like have a load in your trailer and say, oh, I was just going to Kmart here to buy milk, So hello, Heath. I'm a Schneider IC. My ELD lets me do an 8-2 split as long as I'm in sleeper, not off duty. Scott James. I don't know. It depends on your ICA or BOA or whatever the hell they're calling them now. Sometimes you get a phone call. Yukon says he used to do it all the time when he was over here. Sometimes you get a slap on the wrist. Sometimes you get a finger shaken at you. Sometimes they don't even notice it. So I think if it suits your needs, like I think if you use the 8-2 split to go home, they might be like, but if you use it to get it to a customer on time, like a high paying customer, then yeah, they're going to be like, oh, okay, well, don't do that. So James is uploading new video. I thought Unlane was Deadhead or Bobtail. No, Big Rich. Hold on. Deadhead is not unladen. In other words, okay, let me give you an example of how I understand personal conveyance. Okay? You can't be under a dispatch. That's why you can't just say Deadhead. Because, for example, my next load here, after this load, after I'm delivering, I'm at the dock right now is what I'm doing. I'm picking up in St. Louis, okay? I'm under dispatch to go to St. Louis. Now, let's say I didn't book a load and I go to the house. I could use personal conveyance to go to my house, okay? Because I'm not under load, I'm not under dispatch, I'm unladen, okay? So I get home, I book myself a load, or if you're a company side, dispatcher calls, hey, get to work, you got your next load assignment. So I go to my Qualcomm, my load assignment is in there. Now I can't do personal conveyance anymore. The reason why it's unladen and not bobtail is because what if you're an owner operator like Jeffrey Like that owns your tractor and trailer, and you need to take the tractor and trailer to a shop, or you're going to go to Walmart or something. You're not laden, so you should be able to go to the Walmart as long as he's not under dispatch or on his way to the next load. You can't use it to progress to your next load. Now, Snyder has a rule that you have to be bobtailed. Why do they do that? Because they want to get rid of that gray area, whether you can have a trailer or not. That's why they have that rule. Most carriers have their own rules on how to use ELDs. Transland didn't even have an off-duty driving option. But the way they told us was to log out of the Qualcomm, and then you had to log back in at the point of where you logged out. So it became quite confusing. Snyder, you get in trouble if you log out of your Qualcomm. Now, the only time I use personal conveyance is if I'm at home and I have to take the truck into the shop. And what I'll do is I'll always show the same point of where I went into personal conveyance to the same point coming back. In other words, I'm at my house, I put in personal conveyance to go to the shop so it doesn't break up my brake or whatever, and then I come back. And then that'll all be, but I hardly ever do that. Because Snyder says, hey, you know what? While you're doing personal conveyance, insurance is all on you. Whereas if you do it on our time, then our insurance kicks in. Somebody insurance. I know that doesn't make sense. I probably shouldn't even mention that. So, Dave Moreau says, from what I've heard, the FMCSA will have a comment section on PC and other regs soon. So make sure to comment on it like everyone should have on the ELD mandate. Yeah, see, that's the thing, Dave. They had a whole thing before they changed the rules. Remember before they had the 34-hour restart had to cover these certain, 1 to 5 time periods and then 30-minute break. And, the FMCSA had these listening meetings where you can come in and say, hey, and all everybody did was gripe about the shippers and receivers. All everybody did was they offered problems but not solutions. And you know as well as I do that you talk to 10 truck drivers, half of them are going to be they're not going to answer your question. And so they probably got just burned out on listening to everybody. According to OOIDA, unladen is coverage while the truck is being operated with an attached empty trailer or without any trailer at all, whether the dispatch or not, but they might just be their thing. Maybe under their insurance, but see, that's the thing. Here's the thing. I bet you there's people watching my video going, "Oh, Steve, you're wrong. You're an idiot." And that's the problem. If you want to talk about what's the two biggest problems, number one is the hours of service. Number two is the gray areas. It's just like the tax codes. It takes a lawyer to read it, and then when you read it, you're still scratching your head like, well, because you can't just say, don't do this, because every different division of trucking is different. Wow, that was a dumb sentence. There are different aspects of trucking. See, I'm not the brightest candle myself either, guys. Hold on. Frog Prepper. I saw a truck driver on I-85 northbound outside of Anderson, South Carolina a couple weeks ago driving very safely and being courteous. As I passed him, I realized it was Pale Rider TV. Great job, driver. Look at that. Look at that, Pale Rider. You just got a compliment. They just complain rather than getting proactive. Exactly, Rich. That's the problem. Hey, Ace, what's up? You didn't know I was watching live? Yep. Ace, this is live. And since you missed it, what we all have to do, there's a project. This is a homework project. This isn't a live video. It's a homework project. Go to Pale Rider TV's latest video where he screwed up at the scale house. And you have to write in the comment section, that cost you $200. Now, where this comes from is Daniel Adami did a video where he didn't read his dispatch and he had to do all this extra deadheading, like 360 miles. And we estimated the fuel cost being about $150. So I made everybody go on his channel and say that costs you $150. So Pale Rider's getting the same treatment. Anybody that has CalArc on their trailer, they deserve to be scorned as a lesson whenever they mess up. Because us Schneider guys, we never mess up. We never make mistakes. We're perfect. In fact, in Pale Rider's video, check this out. Little bit of trivia, right? He's sitting there and there's a Schneider truck behind him. And on the trailer number, there's 666 on the trailer number. And we're around Halloween, and he was near that evil truck wash there in Pryor. See where I'm going with this? Oh man, you didn't think about that, did you, Pale Rider? Because 666 is the number of, what is it, the number of, people? It is the number of Iron Maiden. So yeah, go look at the trailer number on that Schneider truck that Pale Rider's talking about. You'll see it. It says TA166649 or some crap. I think I might have pulled that trailer. I seem to remember a 666 number somewhere. Oh, this coffee's so good. No, Heath, you're supposed to comment on his video, not mine. Silly. Turn this APU off. I don't need it on now. My coffee's dumb brewed. Dumb brewed. Oh, you jumped out. Oh, okay. I thought you were just doing it here and hoping for the best. So, you know, Pale Rider knows I love him. He knows that we're friends. He knows I'm razzing him out of fun. We troll each other for fun. Like, you know, he did this video. He knows that his outro annoys me because if you're listening to it on the big stereo, it's like, you know, it's like it's designed to wake you up, right? So what did he do? He did a video where he did it 3 times instead of 1. He was like, down, down, down. And I guarantee that the next video is probably going to have that too. He'll probably go back to his old intro. Bandit, I have a Carrier Comfort Pro. Tri-Packs are junk. And I know, I've had like 8 of them. And the last one almost killed me. So, literally almost killed me. Like, I had to get the fire extinguisher out and put the fire out. It almost killed me. So, Tri-Pack can go screw it. I read on the Schneider Facebook pages, everybody's having problems with their Tri-Packs. And it's like, I know 2 I-Seats personally that have problems with their Tri-Packs. Tri-Packs are junk. And I don't like the way they're set up. See, the reason why I have my APU on, it's not that it's cold or anything. I had to run my coffee maker. I don't have an inverter in the truck. The way Tri-Packs are built, you have an inverter. And so if you plug something in, like a microwave or something like that, it drains batteries. When the batteries get below a certain voltage, then the APU kicks on. Well, the Carrier can set up like that too. However, if you do that a lot, you're drawing power, building power. That's hard on the battery. So if you have a Tri-Pack, more than likely you're going to go through a set of batteries once every year. And there's a lot of like internal things going on. More than the Carrier. Carrier is closest to like having a, you see the guys with the home generators on the back of the truck, that's kind of what it is. It keeps the heater, like when I started my truck this morning, my water temperature was above 125 because APU was circulating it. So I had a nice warm engine and the truck started right up. I know that was a long answer. But, all right, guys, this video's done. Pale Rider knows that it's all in love, man. It's all for the brotherhood, as Thor would say. So, you got to give each other hell. But, you know, but I told my story of how I was overweight and got caught at the Joplin scale, and, you know, to make him feel better and to learn from my mistakes as well. So, you plan on buying my first rig at the end of 2018 and want an APU on it? Go with the Carrier, Bandit. Go with the Carrier. Truckin' Ace just subscribed to Pale Rider. It's about time he caught up on that, Ace. Pale Rider's been in the biz a minute. He's got a great channel. He was doing weekly vlogs for a while, but then he realized that, you know, it was a lot of work. See, here's a tip for you newbies on YouTube. Christian Trucker kind of went through this too. Don't set up a schedule like you have to have a video like once a day, once a week, or whatever. You can't do that, because if you do, it's trucking. So you know that things happen. You know, for the longest time, I didn't do any videos from my old channel to this channel, because when you run for 2 weeks straight, you know, back when I was a company guy, and I'm home for just, you know, 34, the last thing you want to do is mess with the video on your computer. So when it came to the vlogging style, this was easy because you can do it from your phone. Now you can do it live. I don't even have to do any editing, right? But if you sit there and try to, like, I'm going to put out a weekly vlog, or I'm going to put out a daily vlog, or I'm going to do, you know, a certain schedule, guess what? It's going to feel like work, and you won't want to do it. You'll burn yourself out. So what you want to do is you want to release a video naturally, organically, like, you know, like that's what. We're back. All right, guys. It seems like the YouTube hierarchies are like, you know what, dude, keep this under an hour. So, with that being said, guys, take it easy. Have a good day, Pale Rider. I salute you, sir. And when in doubt, scale it out. Peace.